Ladies and gentlemen, today's topic is heavy but so important. It's the story of Clare Nowland, an elderly woman who tragically lost her life after a police encounter. We are going to dive into what happened, why it's caused such outrage, and what this case says about how we treat our most vulnerable. So grab a cup of coffee or tea because we are unpacking a lot here. Let us start with who Clare was. Clare Nowland was 95 years old, living at Yellamy Lodge, a care home in Cooma, New South Wales, Australia. By all accounts, she was kind, loving, and deeply cherished by her family. But like many people her age, she was dealing with cognitive decline. Now, dementia, or even just the sign of it, can make people act unpredictably. For Clare, that meant moments of confusion and occasional aggression. On the early morning of May 17, 2023, this confusion led to an incident that spiraled out of control. At around 4 a.m., staff at Yellamy Lodge called emergency service. Clare had been seen wandering the halls with two serrated steak knives. To be clear, this wasn't a case of malice or intent to harm. This was likely the result of a cognitive decline. Still, the staff were understandably concerned for her safety and for others in the care home. When police and paramedics arrived, they tried to reason with Clare. They asked her repeatedly to drop the knife, even using thick gloves to try and disarm her. At this point, Clare, who weighed just around 48 kilograms or about 105 pounds, was moving at a snail's pace, shuffling forward using her walker. Over the course of a minute, she covered just 1 meter. This is very important because it gives us the context. Clare wasn't rushing at anyone, she wasn't swinging the knife, she wasn't even lunging. She was moving very slowly, and the threat she posed was, well, let's just say it's up for debate. Now, this is where things take a turn. Senior Constable Kristian White, one of the officers on the scene, warned Clare that he had his taser pointed at her. And then just 3 minutes after arriving, he said, "Bugger it," and fired. Why? You got a grandma that will turn a century in 5 years holding a knife with a walker, moves at a pace of almost nothing, got agitated as a result of a brain disorder, gonna forget about it later cause she got dementia, but did not have the chance to cause you tasered her straight to oblivion. Well done, officer. The taser hit Clare, causing her to fall and hit her head on the ground. That fall led to a fatal brain bleed. Clare eventually passed away a week later, leaving her family and the entire community in shock. Fast forward to the trial, Kristian White faced a charge of manslaughter, and the case revolved around one big question: was his use of force justified? White claimed he acted because he believed a violent confrontation was imminent. He even wrote in his incident report that he didn't think Clare would be significantly injured. But the prosecution painted a very different picture. They argued that Clare posed no real threat at the time. She was moving slowly, she was frail, she was using a walker. Prosecutor Brad Hatfield didn't hold back, saying, who could she have injured at the moment? No one. One of the most damning pieces of evidence was the body cam footage. It captured those critical moments leading up to the taser deployment, including White's casual remark, "Bugger it." It's a phrase that suggests frustration or impatience rather than imminent danger. Other witnesses testified too, including White's police partner and a paramedic on the scene. Interestingly enough, while they admitted feeling scared towards the grandma, they also agreed that Clare's limited mobility made it easy for them to stay out of harm's way. Kristian White was guilty of manslaughter. This decision sent a strong message that even law enforcement must be held accountable when the action leads to unnecessary harm or even death. Clare's family understandably have been devastated by her loss. They released a statement thanking the jury and the court, but said they need time to process the confirmation that Clare's death was a criminal and unjustified act. This case has also struck a chord with the public. People are asking tough questions about police training, the use of tasers, and how we treat elderly individuals, especially those with cognitive issues. Should more patience have been shown? Could de-escalation tactics have worked instead? Look, this isn't just about one officer or one incident. This is about systemic issue. How do we train police to handle situations involving vulnerable people? Are tasers being used too quickly as a default option? And what does justice look like in cases like this? One thing's for sure, Clare's story has sparked an important conversation, and her legacy will hopefully lead to meaningful changes. And that's it for today's video. I want to hear from you. What are your thoughts on this case? Was the verdict fair? And what changes do you think need to happen in policing and aged care? Drop a comment down below. And if you found this video thought-provoking, share it with someone who needs to hear Clare's story. Let us keep this conversation going. While you're here, if you like the video, hit the like button. If you dislike the video, hit the dislike button. Don't forget to subscribe, and thanks for watching. As always, stay kind, stay informed, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.